Hello folks, and welcome to this week's car news roundup. Not too many stories today. It's not a long one, at least that's what she said. Let's crack on with it. By the way folks, I'm still stricken with the old man flu, so, bear with me here. We're over at Autocar for the first one. Fuel prices dropped 7p in September, but should be 10p lower. RAC claims that supermarkets are still holding back profits on cost of fuel following summer's record highs. The fuel price should be 10p lower than it currently stands, despite an average drop of 7p across UK forecourts in September, the RAC has claimed. Prices stand at an average 162.89 per litre for petrol and 180.16 for diesel. This means filling up a 55 litre family car such as a 3 Series or a Golf costs £89.59, almost £16 lower than in July. Same tank of diesel costs £99, £10.41 less than in July. A spokesman for the RAC is basically saying that prices should be currently about £1.52 a litre, and supermarkets are currently only 1.5p less than the big brands, and normally that's about 3 or 4p. The good news is that despite the fact that the value of the pound has plummeted, the cost of oil's plummeted. So it's now under $90 a barrel, which means that you should still see prices coming down further in the near future, despite the fact that the pound's having a funny 5 minutes. Really, the guy from the RAC is just saying, if only the retailers would pass on the savings they're making every time they're buying more stock, that would happen a lot quicker than it currently is. The plug-in car grant's been extended by 18 months for dealer orders. UK government grant axed earlier this year will still apply to orders placed from 14th of June 2021, but now goes through to the 31st of March 2023. The grant, which saved customers £1,500 on the purchase of EVs priced at less than £32,000, was axed with immediate effect earlier this year. It will now apply to car orders placed by dealers between the 14th of June 2021 and the 31st of March 2023 because of extended lead times. The new 2023 Honda Prologue is the first EV from their GM partnership. The North American-only EV's design is said to be neo-rugged in the style of a modern and fresh SUV. Neo-rugged, eh? So this car's a bit wider and a bit longer than the CR-V. And oh yeah, it's certainly got plenty of real estate. It's quite a nice looking thing actually. It's a bit more interesting to look at than the CR-V, I have to say. So this will be on sale in North America only at the moment, but you have to wonder if that's not something they're going to roll out on a wider basis, because the world seems to love an absolutely massive SUV. It looks like this thing's going to have slightly north of 300 miles of range, but no real sort of firm information on anything at the moment. The Toyota Bz4x production restarts after wheel hub fix. Issue affected 2,700 examples globally, including 800 cars bound for the UK. You may remember this from a few months ago, but Toyota had to halt production of the Bz4x due to this issue with a wheel hub, where basically wheels were becoming loose. They did an immediate recall and stopped production. That's now started again. The issue has been addressed. Toyota's also stated that it discovered and resolved an issue with airbags that were improperly installed from the factory. So, tough one for Toyota. It was a big car for them, that. The first real sort of ground up EV for Toyota, and from a PR point of view, it's been a little bit of a nasty experience for them. But hopefully they've now put everything right. Hopefully they've learned something from it. I look forward to driving one of those in the fullness of time. New Hyundai Ioniq 5N set to arrive in 2023. We're over at Auto Express now, by the way. And here we go. Check this thing out. This is obviously their kind of impression of it, what they think it's going to look like, and if it does look like that, I'll be a very happy boy, because I like that thing. Here's one absolutely covered in camouflage. So they're expecting it to get similar numbers to the Kia EV6 GT, because obviously it's a very similar car. Kia offers a 0-60 time of 3.5 seconds and 162 mile an hour top speed, and they expect the Ioniq 5N to get similar sort of numbers. That Kia, by the way, is putting out 577 brake horsepower and 740 newton meters of torque, which is mind-blowing, really. No mention of price on that just now, but it's going to be huge. ULEZ expansion opposed by 2/3 of Londoners. Well, what a massive surprise that is. And I'm sure the government will take a lot of notice of it. A leaked TfL consultation document suggests 66% of car respondents did not support clean air zone covering entire Greater London area. The ULEZ zone originally was just the congestion charge zone, so that's sort of very, very central London, before it expanded to cover all the streets inside the north and south circular roads. If the further planned expansion goes ahead next year, the AA estimates that around 1/3 of car owners in the newly affected area would be priced off the road. The move would be supported by an expanded scrappage scheme and encourage people to get rid of older, more polluting vehicles to look for other options such as public transport or car clubs. The scrappage scheme would not only support the purchase of new cars but also incentivise walking, cycling and public transport usage. This ULEZ expansion thing is a massive can of worms, and I'm sure lots of people will have different opinions to mine, but I feel like the world is kind of naturally now going to start moving towards ultra low emission vehicles, and those that can afford to do it and want to do it are already doing it, a lot of them. And I think just taxing those that haven't already done it is about getting more money into the exchequer more than anything else. A forecourt trader, electric car registrations in the UK passed the 1 million mark. So here we go. So we've got 1 million plug-in vehicles on the road now. We're already starting to change. People want EVs, people want plug-in hybrid cars, people want cleaner petrol and hybrid cars. When your old diesel that's done 400,000 miles finally kicks the bucket next year, chances are you may consider either buying a Euro 6 diesel or a hybrid car, or maybe even a plug-in hybrid car, or maybe a petrol car, but something that's ULEZ compliant. You don't need to tax us again. There's not enough carrot in this world, there's too much stick, if you know what I mean. Over on Top Gear now, Michael Schumacher's championship-winning F1 car is for sale. This is not a spare car or a backup car or anything like that. This is the car. This is the one that won the 2023 World Championship in. 3-litre V10 Ferrari, 19,000 RPM, makes 840 brake horsepower, and it's estimated you could be able to get this for around 8.4 million, which in the grand scheme of things, considering it's Schumacher's actual F1 winning car, doesn't seem to be that much money. I know that's ridiculous, 8.5 million quid for a car, but when you consider what it is and who had it, that thing's going to be worth God knows what in years to come. I think it could go for a hell of a lot more than that, if I'm being completely honest. I've got no idea who's selling this. I assume it's not Ferrari, because you would think if Ferrari owned it, they would want to just keep that in a museum or something, because what a piece of history. It's when Ferrari were in their absolute pomp, so you'd think they'd want to keep that in a museum, wouldn't you? Look, that's all for this week, folks. I am suffering a bit, so I've kept it short and sweet for you. Please give the video a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't already done so. And please buy me a coffee if you'd like to support the channel. There is also an option to buy me a coffee once a month, which lots of you lovely people do. There's a link to that in the video description and pinned as the top comment. Please also follow me on some form of social media. I keep asking, no bugger does. So please do that. Thanks for watching. Come back next time. See you soon.